not perfect, nor do I wish to be, and I'm not afraid to shy away from that. And I said this to you off camera, but I'll say it on camera. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. I made some pretty
He's gonna go
pretty
cry.
out of
He's gonna
line
go cry.
comments to George about George's beliefs, and I said, I'm not going to say what I said. I'm not even going there again because I'll tell you why. The following 3 weeks have been the hardest period of my fucking life, buddy. God kicked me in the dick as hard as he fucking could. It's soon
We call
as it
that
started
a
happening.
God smack.
I went
God smacked, son.
There's no way. There's no way. We started off in Qatar. I got violent food poisoning.
Oh, before that, camera taken away at the airport.
Oh yeah.
Immediately
$20,000
upon
camera
landing.
taken.
So-
We were invited by Qatar. We landed Qatar. Camera stripped from us. All right, fire. $20,000 camera. All right, no problem.
Which you got.
We got it back a couple days later, but we get to my hotel. It's just little things here and there. Things aren't showing up. We misscheduled. Again, got violent fucking food poisoning. Next day, got alcohol poisoning. Our luggage was delayed, so we had no clothes to get to our events. Qatar was the first time I felt the wrath of God, and then
And then
the Zilla stuff dropped, and I had some shit happen in Denmark when I was supposed to meet my girlfriend's parents.
me and you got in a scuffle.
Wait.
outside the game.
Oh, me and Mike got in a massive fight. I got in his face because Nina put her finger. She's a pointer, and she put her finger in Mike's face, and Mike, rightfully so, goes, "Get your finger out of my face." and then I instinctual, I go, "What the? I'll smack the fuck out of you. That's my girl."
No, you said, "Now my finger's in your face. What are you gonna do about it?"
That sounds more like.
And I literally just said, "I'm going to go in the game now," and I walked away. But it was just a representation of just how horrible things had gotten.
Listen, ironically, I defamed Jesus and God, and I felt His wrath. And by the way, I want to make something clear, and I have something I'd like to say to you that I've been thinking about, but I'm gonna say that for a second because I want to hear your take on this. But I'm not a fucking atheist. I believe in God. People think I don't believe in God. It might not identify as the same God as you, but it was very telling to me how the karmic energy of the universe, this is what I'll call it, just went right back around and put me in my place. The reason that I was upset with you was just because of the one comment that you misheard. The one comment that I actually think it was dangerous, and this was part of that clip that was going viral. Although, like, my whole attitude towards you was not appropriate. The part where you said you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus. Which I said, George, that you misheard that. That's not what I said. That is a dangerous belief to say. But since you said it, and it's ironic. On the podcast, I let you finish it, and then I corrected you, but no one clipped the correction, right? That doesn't fit.
I think the direction of where your mindset is what people saw. I don't think it's just that clip.
I agree. However, and I'm gonna say something here, but like, again, I believe what I believe. How I said it was fucked up.
Yeah.
And that particular clip bothered me because that wasn't something that came out of my mouth.
Yeah. You're painted in a direction that you weren't painted in.
Exactly.
Somewhat might say how you paint Jesus. So maybe you tasted the medicine.
Yeah, I like that. Or Christians in general. That's an interesting point.
But I do
have to back him on that. The statement was, you need a therapist because Jesus ain't doing it for you. And the viral clip was you saying that he said you need a therapist because you believe in Jesus.
And I was upset with you because that twisting of just like words in a sentence is fucking dangerous and not what I said. And it really changes the sentiment of what I was saying. But however, and you said it, and we spent a couple hours on the phone. We hashed it out. A day to 2 days after the podcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it ended in like, yo, I fucking love you. We're homies, like day ones, and this is how I believe any good friendship should have its bumps. It's what makes the friendship stronger. And what you said, we're both learning from each other, and I learned so fucking much from you. And That's what's important to me. Which I was fine taking that heat online because you sleep in the bed you make. And I made that bed by being a fucking dickhead to you. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. What I wasn't okay with was something that I didn't say twisted a certain way, almost in the same way CoffeeZilla was doing. That's what hurt me. But what matters to me the most, bro, because I'm no stranger to controversy online, and I understand that everything is it's just a matter of time. This too shall pass, right? Yeah. And I'm here learning and growing and trying to be the best person that I can be. The difference is I'm doing it all in front of y'all. The most important thing to me was the relationship that I have with you.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were able to reach a common ground as we always do, which is, I think, why I'm so comfortable being so blunt with you sometimes. I shouldn't have done it. In the way that I did it.
Yeah.
As long as we're good, dude, I'm happy. I'll take all the heat online. And
I do want to say one last thing. I learned a lot from you. We have two different point of views in life. And we pick off of each other. A lot of people don't see that because it's behind cameras, but I really want to speak to the people that are willing to listen, and I say that because a lot of people aren't. But be careful how you treat the people around you, bro, because it will come full circle towards you. No one's perfect. When I sat across my best friend and he had his point of views, I respected everything he says. Now, there's a lot that has to do with it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But bro, grow the fuck up. Grow up.
No, I think that's a bad thing to say.
Well, just hear me out. Just 1 second. Let me just finish.
Because it derails everything he just said. It's how you say something is everything.
True.
What you say is nothing. It's all in how you say it.
Fair enough. But there's a lot of passion that goes behind politics and religion. And if you can't separate somebody's passion, this becomes war. What I want to see is I want to see people that see from Logan's point of view that's like, hey, you know what? I grew up in a situation where my best friend was gay, so I don't love the religion that you serve because why push this guy aside or blah, blah, blah. His feelings and his directions doesn't mean he's the only one that feels this way. So even though the Christian community came and backed me, Muslims backed me, Jewish people backed me, I love it. But what we should be fighting for is, bro, equal love. If you worship a God or you don't worship a God or you see a painting and you see it in a way that nobody else will see it, your point of view is not greater than your neighbor's. No other religion. No, I don't believe that you have to be a part of something and say it's this or nothing, because nobody's point of view, nobody's religion, and nobody's love should ever dictate the neighbor next to you. And if you're not mature enough or educated enough to hear somebody's point of view and just take it with love and be like, okay, yeah, it's not for me or it is for me, then look yourself in the mirror and be like, what am I contributing to this earth? Because it ain't love. Because I could sit with any single man in front of me, I don't care how sinful he is, and we could have a great conversation. And I was broken that the whole world watched me and you come up from Vine and say, nah, it's the time that he leaves. That is heartbreaking, because that just shows me that we're living in a world where somebody can mess up and be like, nah, this guy needs to die. This is like witch hunting. Back in the day, if you didn't like somebody, you said, nah, he's a witch, and then they would burn him.
I don't want that to like get too like far in that direction, because it's important that people see what happened and really understand that type of conversation shouldn't happen. Like, the world is becoming nastier and nastier every fucking day. People are being very mean to each other out there, and everybody out there is going through something. Everybody out there is going through something. Look at anybody in the room, any person in here that I look at, they're going through some evil, some demon that no one else in the world knows about. And people really, really, really need to start checking themselves and how they talk to other people. We all need to start respecting each other a little bit more and being a little bit kinder and nicer to each other.
1,000%. But there is going to be a day, Mike, where you, Logan, me, anybody here is going to have a bad day. And this is where empathy and sympathy should kick in. This guy talked to me in a really disrespectful way, but I pray that whatever he's dealing with, he deals with it.
And I did see some of those comments, which was good. I saw some people that were like, listen, I'm a diehard Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I was deeply offended by what Logan said, but I don't demonize him. I condemn his actions, but I don't want to say, oh, fuck this dude, I'm leaving him forever. He's clearly going through something. And honestly, like, that moment on the podcast was the start of a mini redemption situation for him. Like, that led to a couple weeks of really intense conversation and soul searching and digging into how you are and how you approach and how you deliver and all of that stuff. So without all of that stuff happening, it would have actually been a bad thing because he would have continued to tiptoe that line.
No,
and listen, I had talked to him in the week leading up to that every day about that shit. I have 100 text messages. Yo, the way this is being delivered, the way you're joking about this, the way you're saying this shit to George has to stop. I was texting him on the side, in group chats, everything. And until that happened, no change was going to be made. That was a learning lesson. The question that I got, which was interesting, from so many people, so many content creators, so many, fellow podcast hosts, so many people from the audience even, was how the fuck does that podcast see the light of day? I had so many people ask me, how does that podcast go out?
Because God gives wisdom and he took it back. I will say the same thing that happened in Japan, and I'll say the same thing now. You worship your brain, and not in a bad way. You find, because when you walk in a room, you realize quick, like, I'm a little smarter than these guys. I'm quicker than these guys.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I wasn't going
Yeah,
that
I'm
way.
not gonna
Can
let-
I finish?
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
let-
can
Nah, bro, I
Hold
believe
on,
that.
George. Let me
I'm
finish this point.
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you do that.
But it's true,
Well,
bro.
also-
how
also-
did it
That's
go
gonna get
past
clipped.
so many people?
hold
You're
on.
saying
Well,
it's going to take
No,
the
bro,
wrong
I'm not
way?
gonna let you try to explain how I feel about my intellect.
No,
in
I
a
just said
room with
wisdom was
people.
taken away.
Yeah, but you said some other shit about how I feel about when I walk into a room.
Not true. Every single person feels this way. It's not just you. So if you made it seem like it was just you, my bad.
'Cause I'm gonna start to push back on when you
Absolutely.
speak to me.
I'll use myself as an example so I don't offend. When I start getting
I
hot-
was like going somewhere with that question.
Oh, my
I
bad.
was like
my bad.
lobbing something up there.
I'm just saying that, just real quick, humans worship themselves. And I said this in the podcast
Sure.
before. They worship themselves because they're the only people that are hearing and seeing from their point of view.
Right.
So they think their point of view is right. But I just have to say, it's kind of ironic, bro. Like, just like the same thing. It was a learning curve, but it needed to pass. If it didn't pass through other people, all these other people being like, nah, I think this is good to post. All of us, I said it on the podcast and after the podcast. Do not post this podcast. It's not going to look well. But everybody else is like, nah, it has to go. I'm just
Did
pointing
that
out.
happen?
Yes, it's on the podcast.
I don't think any.
You can
no
wa-
one
I
else in
said
the
this
group
should be
remembers
behind
that.
closed doors. I said this on the podcast.
I feel like I remember you saying that.
And then right off
Really?
the podcast, I go, hey, man, this is going to be a little tough. And you said it's therapeutic.
Oh yeah, sorry. So that's where I was going with my question that I was lobbing up that you stole from me. What I was gonna say was we actually try on this show to have conversations that should be had behind closed doors because we find that to be fun and sometimes therapeutic, cathartic, and more so just entertaining and interesting for the audience. That one potentially could have not gone out. But that's not the place that we're in. That's not, we don't do that.
I'm not gonna shy away from something I say, even if it's delivered fucking poorly. Part of me and my journey online as a content creator is being authentic, whether it's I'm having an off day and I'm being a fucking dickhead that day and it goes online. Like it's really fucking funny because the whole like Logan Paul is a part of the Matrix.
Oh,
Fucking says what's scripted in front of him. Like
Fucking
I'm
A,
actually the person who's saying the shit I probably shouldn't say if I wanted to be like respected and loved by everyone. I have gotten to where I am today by being authentic to myself. And that comes with a journey full of many ups and many downs online. And I'm simply not going to shy away from that.
You shouldn't.
No,
You can never learn if you
I'm
do.
not going to. That exactly, bro. This is my fucking journey, and I'll take the heat and I'll sleep in the bed that I make. And that day, I even said it. Played the podcast back so many times. I need to go home. I need to go home. Get me off this set. Like I knew something was off. I walked in that podcast that day, way too fired up,
yeah.
and way too misaligned with goodness and positivity and beneficial conversation.
That's it.
And I still sat on a fucking podcast unfiltered and said what was on my mind at the time.
So
that
what
probably
would you-
shouldn't have exited my mouth.
What would you do? Would you have paused the pot, like just taken an hour to relax? Like, what would you do differently? Very tactically, just a curiosity.
Super tactically. And this is I've asked myself this question as well, right? Because I have to go to work, bro. I have a job.
Same
It
as
is-
me.
It is to make a
You know,
program
yeah.
for people to watch. I need to be more honest with myself about where I'm at mentally and understand and read a room better no matter how I'm feeling. Like I mean, fuck, exercise empathy. God damn it. Here we are. I'm not perfect, nor do I wish to be. And I'm not afraid to shy away from that. Can I say one last thing to wrap up this
segment,
this religious conversation with
Sure.
you, George?
Mm.
Because I've been compiling my thoughts and you know, asking myself like what I was like trying to say that episode and why I was so aggressive toward you and had been. And I, among the many things I've been writing in my notes, I've gathered a lot of thoughts and I'd like to say them to you now. And I said this to you off camera, but I'll say it on camera. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that.
My attitude towards you on that episode and my belittlement of your beliefs was not appropriate at all. Not as a podcast host, especially not as a friend. I had made the mistake of assuming that the part represents the whole in terms of the intolerance that does exist in your religion. Every Christian I know, pretty much, is incredibly warm, loving, accepting, and forgiving, including my devout mother. And I also recognize that it's a source of so much hope and purpose for people, and it was wrong to be dismissive of that. I do want to say the following, though, because it's important to me. Yes, I do think it's a shame that the scripture says homosexuality is a sin. I don't agree with that. Yes, I do think it's a shame that the scripture says worshiping any other deity than Jesus is a sin. I don't agree with that. As you know, I also don't believe it's an incredibly progressive practice to deny scientific evidence and evolution in favor of creationism. And I have a right to believe what I believe, which again, as you know, is in a God, like a higher power, universal energy, creator, whatever you want to call it. And while the God that I believe in might not be the same as yours or Mike's or anyone in this room, the point is we all believe something. And no matter how much conviction as individuals we have that our truth is the truth, at the end of the day, nobody knows. However, my angst towards the parts of organized religion that I don't agree with was directed solely at you. And that was not fair. But if your character and your belief system is rooted in positivity and it gives you purpose in this incredibly confusing and difficult world, it deserves respect. And I know how loving you are, and I respect you. And I'm sorry, bro. I fucking love you.
I love you too. And apology 100,000% accepted.
How about, I was going to ask for a hug, but that's so
Here's I'll end it with this. Whether your God to be true or whether my God to be true, a greater power gave us free will. So I'm never going to strip it from you. Speak your heart, speak your mind. Same with me. And that's all I fight for, is because you have takeaways that I could grow from and I have takeaways you could grow from. And if we could just do the journey together instead of bumping heads and just really respect each other as now we see and now we're capable of doing, the journey becomes beautiful. Same journey. It just now there's no animosity or like weirdness. Like regardless, and I feel bad for saying this, regardless of the situation that happened, it's made our relationship in my eyes a lot stronger.
As it always does.
It always will, George.
Yeah,
It always will. And that's why, again, like, I think a lot of people maybe shy away from those conversations with their friends or even are afraid to check their friends like you guys do often to me, and especially on that episode. I'm not And I value my circle and my friendships that I have number one in my life. It's the most important thing to me. I'm blessed with the people I have around me. I made a 2022 year in review video that I didn't post. Fuck. It was called 2022 was the best year of my life.
You gotta stop making these fucking videos, bro.
No, because it really was. It really was. 2022 was the best year of my life. It didn't necessarily end the way I wanted it to, but I'll sleep in that bed and I'm going to release it. But I even say in it, my circle is like one of the things I'm most thankful for in my life, and it has yielded an amazing life for me. And I'm so grateful for you guys. And I will always have the tough conversations with you, as you know, because I know the type of mending and growing they can do for two people who love each other. And I would encourage any person to have those tough conversations with their friend. We had one today, bro. We had a tough ass conversation today. we did it. And we got through it. And guess what? You're right.
When I had to deliver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
As long as it's always done with respect. I mean,